when to think about right-sizing.
And as we really set the table for this conversation, we just want to say this can apply to anybody, but we find it's most common for individuals ages 60 to 78. You might hear us refer to them as the baby boomer generation. Again, this can be anybody, it's not an age specific, but in general, some of the data that we have today is just talking about those individuals 60 to 78 as well.
And I think the purpose of this is really to focus on the bigger picture. And as we talk a lot about planning in regards to our clients' lives and helping them out with that, this is a topic that's coming up more and more just based on what's been happening within the housing market, just on objectives and goals and wanting to age in place. So this is a big conversation that we've been having with a lot of our clients as of today as well. Let's focus on first the stats, because I think these are important to look at just based on what's happening out there.
Yeah, and not surprising, this is from Redfin, who surveyed a group of baby boomers or individuals 60 to 78. And again, not surprising, over 71% of them said they want to stay in their current home. They want to age in place. They like where they live. It's likely by their family. It provides for their lifestyle needs. And they want to make whatever financial adjustments or sacrifices to stay there that they can. Now, there is certainly, as no secret, definitely a housing shortage across most of the United States right now. But as we drill down even further, for individuals looking to age in place in a new home, that's usually a single level ranch type home. There's even less of those available.
Right.
And not only less available, on average, the costs of those homes are significantly increased due to the supply shortage. As we look at the other responses, about 16% were interested in moving to a 55 plus community. We know a lot of individuals that find this very freeing. There's a sense of community, activities, something to keep them active. And then as we go down the line, less popular, move in with an adult child or family member. We always say, disclose this with that family member before you show up. But again, it's all going to completely depend on your priorities and what's important to you and your family dynamics, which is going to vary greatly across the spectrum.
Yeah, some interesting stats there. I mean, and some misalignment, as you mentioned, just based on wanting to age in place, but the reality is, can you age in place, or can you at least start to think about looking out that, or as we say, that front window today, to set yourself up for success to accomplish that.
Right.
So let's jump into some of those considerations.
Yeah, and as we look at the most common answer of aging in place, two of the common challenges that we see. One is the housing market today, as we mentioned.
Yep.
Using some general figures, there's about 62 million baby boomers today in that 60 to 78 range. And about 3 million of them, on average, each year are looking to potentially move into different homes.
It's a big number.
As you look at the housing market today, there's far less than 3 million single-level or ranch-style homes available for those individuals to move into. So that's feeding into some of the supply shortage that we're seeing and a lot of the price increases that we're seeing for individuals who are thinking about right-sizing.
Right.
The other challenge is if you love your current home and your neighborhood and it's close to your family today, it's thinking, how can you right-size that for you? If it's a improvement to first floor laundry or first floor living, or even thinking about the maintenance and upkeep. As we know, individuals in that 60 to 78 range also love to travel and enjoy all the fruits of their lifelong labor. And if maintaining your home is something that's becoming more difficult, it's also putting into the budget of how you're going to maintain that lifestyle, and your current home footprint today.
Yeah, and we even think about the conversation we had today with a client over lunch, just based on retrofitting their home. More and more companies are actually being innovative here, where you can plug in an elevator into your home, if that makes sense. And they're able to do that without all the steel structure, and have that as a framework to allow you to age in place. Yep. Right? So a lot of other ideas that are still being innovated there that maybe would not have been a possibility maybe 10 years ago, just based on advance of technology as well. What's the reality of what we are seeing, though, just based on client experiences and the conversations we're having with them, with even the prices that we're seeing?
Yeah, the common thing that we're seeing are for individuals who are looking to, they're not able to retrofit their current home and have to right size into a new home. It's likely paying more for sometimes even a smaller home, which we can get into the whole financial side of that later. There's also an emotional side to that, especially if you've been in your home for over 20, 30, 40 years. You've raised your children there. You have, potentially still rooms of not only your memories, but their memories too.
Yeah.
That's not a flip the switch decision to say, I want to move down the block and pay more for potentially less square footage. There's also the emotional component to that. And that's why, again, we're hearing this, we're seeing this in the market with our clients, and it starts with that conversation. It doesn't matter, if you're between 60 and 78, but health's always on top of everybody's mind. So we don't want an event to drive a reactive decision or a family member's decision to drive a reactive decision. We want this conversation to be proactive and positive and really driven by what's important to you. If it's staying where you're at because that's where your family and your grandchildren and community are, let's figure out a way to make that happen and ensure you can do that for another 10 to 30 years.
Yeah.
If it's moving closer to family or traveling more or changing your lifestyle, same thing. Let's figure out a way to make that happen, and that's going to vary dramatically based on each individual, right?
Yeah, and I would say one of those other considerations is, by having these conversations, it just creates even more control, right? Whether it's with you and your spouse or your other loved ones, and bringing your children, who might be some of the decision makers or whoever might be the decision maker, into that discussion, just so everything's out on the table.
When is the right time to start having these considerations? And I know that will vary greatly, but what are some of those other factors that we should think about?
Yeah, I think there's never a wrong time to begin to have that conversation, even if it's possibly 2, 3, 4 years out before you might make that transition. So I would say now, like the sooner the better. That allows you to at least have visibility, start to think about not only what the prices look like, but then if you're going to make that transition at some point, what's the process to do that? And to your reference of being in your home for 20, 30, 40 years, those are things that it can take 6 months, 12, 18 months to really go through, everything you have in your home to make that a successful transition. And I think going back to sooner than later, of at least having that conversation, that vision, is ultimately allowing you to do that and take the time to do that versus kind of shotgunning or rushing into that approach. So Mike, how can we help?
Yep. So 2 main ways. First, it just starts with this conversation. It's something that we want to be proactive and really a trusted partner in. We don't want anybody to feel scared or fearful of making this decision or ultimately wait until it's too late. Something that is going to be, again, highly tailored based on your values, your family situation, and it just starts with that conversation. The other way is, depending whatever your needs are, whether it's improving your current home to age in place or looking elsewhere to evolve with your values, it's evaluating the costs and the trade-offs and the best financial strategy to help you do that in a tax-efficient way. And that's really where we get into how we work with our current clients and where we help individuals and families.
Yeah, and I think the reality of what we are seeing is that it's whether it costs you more money to make that transition, or you're going to have to put money into renovating a home to make it to what your likings or to be able to age in place in this new home as well. So looking at the costs, not only that, but also the tax efficiency of where those dollars are going to come from. It's essentially what we're going to dive into. And again, we'll be bringing these conversations up and questions and discussion points in our year-end meetings for our wealth advisory clients. But certainly we'd welcome, if you want to talk about that sooner, to reach out to us directly and have that discussion one-on-one. So we appreciate your time here today as we wrap up, and we'll see you next month. Thank you. Bye-bye.